Hello, dear sinceres. So today we're going to talk about the new moon in Aries. And so this moon will take place on the 21st of March at 5:22 in UK time, and it will be a supermoon and will be happening just a few hours after the ingress of Sun in Aries, kickstarting the new zodiacal year and at 0 degrees of Aries, so 0 and 42 minutes. So Aries decan and Aries Dwad as well. And this is the equatorial axis. It's like the cosmic clocks are telling us something this month of March and year of 2023, with all these major events happening in the sky. First, we had Saturn moving into Pisces on the 7th of March, and now we're going to have Pluto moving into Aquarius on the 23rd. And we have the new moon happening on the spring equinox at the world axis 0 degrees. And to add to this new moon in Aries, we're going to have quite a packed full house in Aries with Mercury, Chiron, Jupiter, Vesta, and the dwarf planet Aries as well, all packed in the same zodiacal placement of Aries. So Aries is a planet that was discovered after Pluto, a dwarf planet, and is connected to Aries as the god Mars, the planet Mars, because she's the sister and she's connected to Discord. But this planet is at the last degrees, coming at the last degrees of Aries. And we also have Mars having kind of a out of bounds energy, so it'll be quite eccentric. And we also have a chart that it has a ball shape energy, it's a ball shape. And this means that there will be a side of the chart that will show a certain need to be fulfilled, a certain need to have some sort of a relationship to make us feel whole and completed, and that we are not dealing so well with some areas of our life. Usually in this bell-shaped energy, in these bell-shaped charts, we have a concentration of energy in a certain sign, in this case in Aries, but we also have a leading planet, in this case will be Pluto. And so there is this kind of very transformational, powerhouse packed, go forward, move forward, transform energy. And it's a certain need to have some kind of complement, someone who complements us to balance us out. So there might be a bit of a way to focus Arian energy happening. So Aries is connected with new beginnings, and this is the time to set new goals, new intentions, new seeds of what we want to see happening in our lives, as it carries a strong energy, propelling us forward with boldness, with courage, with dynamism, with determination, with focus, with perseverance, with optimism. So all these planets are kind of putting all this energy there, and we can put this energy in our entrepreneurial goals, in the things we want to see come true and accomplish, putting our strength, putting on speed. And Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, which is the sign of the infant. It represents a world of possibilities, adventures, conquests. It's courageous, assertive, and it has this lust for life because it just started its first moments, first years of life. It's young, it's an energy of youth. It's confident that nothing can stop it. It's a cardinal sign. It wants to initiate, to start up the process. It lights up the match that will cause the chain reaction of things to happen. And it represents the beginning of life, is when spring finally comes, when animals come out of hibernation, where flowers start to bloom and the days start to get longer and warmer. It's when spring begins. Aries wants to be the number one, the first one, the one leading the pack. It has no time to waste, is let's go yesterday. And on the shadow side, this energy can also be quite immature, innocent, violent, aggressive, competitive, selfish, egotistic, possessive, inconsequent, rash. impulsive and acting without thinking, speaking without thinking. And this can lead to conflicts with other people because other people might find the Arian energy a bit selfish, and it can cause some severance of relationships. It can also lead to wars, to the Aries person who's being influenced by this energy to feel separate from others, separate from the universe. Can lead to accidents, to mistakes, injuries, and negative consequences. And Mars, the planet that rules Aries in Greek mythology, is called Aries. So Aries with an A. In fact, much of the qualities of Mars are expressed in the sign of Aries. But then Mars, the planet, gets exalted in Capricorn. And Capricorn is a zodiacal sign that's ruled by Saturn. So we can see here that there's an intention of Mars to kind of get out of this teenage energy of impulsivity and become more mature, calm, tempered, and have a more strategic attitude. Capricorn is also associated with a sign that represents patriarchy, patriarch, the head of the family. Biological father is more associated with the sun, but Capricorn has this energy of the old man who rules kind of a patriarchy, a clan ruler, and nothing here to do with the politics, okay? So here much of this teenage energy of Mars is expressed in the Aries sign, this youthfulness, this masculinity that is still quite young, but with time it will mature, will grow and learn. So having the planets in Aries, so we have Mercury, which is going to give us a quick thinking, acting in tandem with the speed of thought, assertiveness, determination, confidence, but also we are more prone to getting conflict with others. We may start arguments, argue, defend our point of view until we are the winners of that point of view and convince the other people, say harsh things, compete, and also be a little bit more selfish. Chiron, the wounded healer, and I really want to talk a little bit about Chiron here, points towards our individual wound, the feeling that somehow this Arian warrior has had a few falls and tough lessons that showed him that, hey, it's not just about you, that you should be ashamed for thinking only of yourself and not caring about other people. And that there are also other people, not just you, other people that you also need to have consideration for and not just think about what is good for you, that maybe you're not so important or special after all and the world does not revolve around you. And we all get these kind of wounds. These are wounds that everyone gets in their childhood because we have to be pulled out of our narcissistic tendencies that as children we all have. It has connection also to Libra because Libra is all about relationship with others, with parents, with siblings, with teachers, with the world. When we are young, these are the people that kind of pulls us out and help us evolve beyond our narcissistic tendencies of a taller age. So the wound goes deeper when there is not a compensation for this, when there is nothing that can assert or affirm that actually there's something good about us. When we are only led to think that we have to always sacrifice our needs, our individuality, our selfish desires for other people, but we are not having any opportunity to look into this Arian aspect of our psyche, then is a wound that goes deeper. And the beauty of astrology is that everything is allowed in the universe. It's not about the extremes. It's not about one sign being right. It's including all the sides of the equation, all the aspects, and allowing for the extremes to also exist, but not to stay in those extremes. Because without extremes, we would not have fixed signs. And so we also have mutable and we also have cardinal. It's more about a balancing act, a harmonization of the elements. So Chiron is alerting us to heal this wound in Aries that reminds us that there is a place and a time for us to be selfish, to put ourselves first, to love ourselves, to voice our own opinion, to affirm the right to exist as an individual that is different from everyone else. There is a time and a place for this, but it's not just about having this one dimension of life where this is all we do and this is our attitude. After all, God gave us a body that no one can eat for us, no one can breathe for us, and similarly, no one can think for us. We see for ourselves through our own eyes. This is where the sign of Aries, and by the way, Leo too, shows its rightful place in the universe because it says, I have a right to exist and be unique, an individual who also does what is best for themselves. It is okay to want to win a gold medal and to want to be the best at what I do. And that in a way will take other people's right to also do the same for themselves. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to say no. It's okay to think of our well being and not always feeling that we have to sacrifice our boundaries, our well being, our health, our happiness for other people, especially when they act in hurtful ways towards us. So, if we are all competent in looking after ourselves, then we don't need other people to sacrifice themselves for us, or they won't need it as well for us to sacrifice ourselves for them. So, this is kind of the balance between Aries and Libra. So, I finished with the Chiron part. Let's go to Jupiter. Jupiter in Aries will infuse us with optimism, self-confidence, a sense of adventure, push for our entrepreneurial dreams, projects, to want to win and having faith that we can achieve, but also the feeling of knowing where to go and who to trust and what to do, and trusting our own knowledge, trusting our capacity to find the resources and finding what we need, that we will get those resources. We will get the universe working with us to have that faith. And then we have Vesta as well in Aries, which brings us focus, concentration in what we are aiming to do, but also a sense of wanting to protect and defend those who are less powerful than us, who feel weaker, who feel that they are suffering some kind of injustice. Vesta speaks much as well about the female sexuality, and it is interesting. It's something I've been looking a lot lately. It's interesting to see on social media a new trend since February when Vesta entered Aries. Female sexuality is now trending a lot in this realization that sexual liberation is not serving women, as women are having to amputate their emotions and feelings to fit in with a sexuality that is marketed to them as liberating and freer and making them more independent, but actually is a more masculine type of sexuality that pushes women to behave like men sexually. I'm finding this quite interesting subject lately. If you want to check it out, check out Louise Perry. She's quite amazing. And then we have Aries. So Aries is a sister of Aries, Aries Ares, Mars, who is further away than Pluto. And he has been in the zodiac sign of Aries since the 1920s, and it will only exit in 2048. The Aries is considered a malefic planet given the mythology associated with the scourge. She means discord, and her children are much of the evils of the world. But I will leave this for another video. Just to say that on a more harmonious side, Aries, I feel personally, is very connected with this feminine empowerment because we've seen a lot of women's empowerment since the 1920s. But also is about fighting for what we believe and speaking out. During this new moon, we also have sign out of sign square of Mars to the new moon. And so watch out for an overreaction of this Arian energy, from going too boldly after what you want and hurting or wounding others, or kind of being a little bit crazy because Mars is out of bounds. And is kind of more likely to go to more verbal arguments, insults, attacks because Mars is in Gemini, or being too aggressive um, in the side that is more the out of bounds side of Mars. And there's also a square between Mars and Neptune inside the signs, which, depending on what they rule in your chart, might make things look still a little bit foggy, a little bit confusing, not knowing what actions to take, what to do, what to uh, the things that you should do in those situations, where to go, what should I do now. It might be all a little bit confusing. We might also have a difficulty finding where to put our boundaries, or when to allow others people in. And sexually, we might be feeling a little bit frustrated. We also have an out of sign square of Pluto to the nodes right now, because Pluto is still in Capricorn. This is important on a global level, on a kind of mundane level, because Pluto is about to enter the Aquarius, and the nodes are the direction of humanity. So this might indicate some tough times that we might experience in the next few weeks, when Pluto is going to move into Aquarius and give us a little bit of a taster of what it's going to be like when he finally moves completely into Aquarius. So Pluto is very much about pruning, the detoxification of the system. And the problem is that usually it gets quite worse before it gets better. Mars and Pluto are also in conjunct, so we might still be listening about war news, governments, conflicts for a while, because in conjunct aspects create this kind of tension, not seeing eye to eye, almost irreconciliations of some kind. The new moon also has a semi-square to Uranus. This is an aspect that shows some tensions, and also that some unexpected events can happen. That some things that have been kind of annoying us and irritating, a little bit like that rock in our shoe, which is kind of this very semi-square kind of aspect that we kind of don't deal with, but suddenly things can get worse and even explode. As this is a new moon, such situations can cause for more problems later, because it's kind of a seeding process. If we don't deal with the issues now, we might actually be creating new situations that might explode in a much worse way later. So, for this period, set your intentions. What do you want to achieve this year? Organize yourself, have your vision board ready, have your notebook ready with your goals, place your intentions up so you can plant those seeds, a new vision. What do you want to do? Where you want to be in a few years' time? What is the things that you've always dreamed of that you never tried? What things has fear stopped you from achieving, from doing? Because this is the time to believe in yourself and that you can achieve those dreams. It's also the time to put yourself first if you have not been doing so, and you have been dedicating yourself to other people and putting everyone first and looking after everybody else and putting yourself to the last one, neglecting yourself, feeling like you don't have any importance. This is the time now to stop that, take a break, go on holiday, put a holiday sign, I'm out of here. So look after your energy, look after yourself, do some exercise, dynamism, get out there, get out of your comfort zone, risk, be bold, face your fears, and to dare to take chances, and to also learn how to desensitize yourself to what you perceive to be failures, to this kind of mass media marketing that keeps pushing this idea that you're not good enough, that you need to buy that thing to feel yourself like you're good, to break limitations, the glass ceilings, to take yourself not too seriously, but serious enough to be confident, but not too seriously, to speak your truth, This is the moment to initiate and plant the things you want to reap later in this year, in further years in your life. Find a balance between looking after yourself and loving other people. Also, Venus is in rulership in Taurus, so this is a really good time for love. But most importantly, a good time for self-love. To also pamper yourself, to get out in nature, to enjoy life, and doing this while conquering all your goals. So that's it, dear sinceres. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If so, remember to press like below so you can help me make more videos for yourselves, and to subscribe. I hope to see you next time. Do remember to visit me on my website at cynthiasincere.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. May the cosmos and the stars be with you.